So to recap what was on there, we had questions. Today the inverse questions are like cosine inverse of, and let's just use one of the values that cosine typically takes, like negative square root of 2 over 2. It's one of our main values for cosine. So this question is not saying, I'll tell you where to go on the unit circle. You tell me what's the cosine there. I'm telling you what I need the cosine to be, and you're telling me where that happens. When you answer this, you need to decide where it's coming from, because there's technically infinitely many places where cosine equals negative square root of 2 over 2. Hopefully what comes to mind is this is one of those middles. It's not the 1/2 or the square root of 3 over 2, it's the square root of 2 over 2. And it's negative, and it's cosine. So cosine is negative over on the left, and this is one of those middle spots, so we're either here or here. And this is why, so we all agree on the same answer, this is why these inverse trig functions are restricted to a certain area. Cosine comes from here, from 0 to 90 degrees. That way, we eliminate the duplication, because 0 to 90 only covers the top. So we're never going to give this bottom answer right here. We're all going to agree on the same one. And what is that angle? Any takers? How many degrees is that? 135. Or, and be careful with the directions. The directions might ask you to answer in radians, and that in radians would be 3 pi over 4. Sorry about that. 180. I was just checking to see who was listening. Good job. Everybody else, shame on you for not listening. That should have been 180. Totally on purpose. Okay, so on this style of question, this is a composition. Where we're going to take sine inverse of some value, but we're not given the value straight out. You have to find the tangent of negative pi over 4 to get the value that we're trying to sine inverse. So it looks complicated, but we're just going to work our way out. This is 2 questions that individually you should know how to do, but we're just going to answer them one at a time. So you always start in the parentheses, right? So sine inverse of, now this in parentheses, this is a straightforward unit circle type question. What is the tangent of negative pi over 4? Well, in order to answer that one, you picture or draw where negative pi over 4 is. That's right down here. And then you think about what's the tangent. Any takers? What's the tangent there? Negative 1. Tangent of negative pi over 4 equals negative 1. In all those middle spots, tangent and cotangent are always equal to 1, either positive or negative. But since we're in quadrant 4, where the cosine is positive, the sine is negative, that will be a negative 1 overall. So that's a question you could have answered a couple weeks ago. Now we get to the outside step, which what is sine inverse of negative 1? So completely separate situation. Where does sine have a value of negative 1? And sine, it doesn't come from somewhere on the top. Sine always comes from somewhere on the right, which is negative 90 to positive 90. It's kind of awkward that we have to drop down into the negatives, and instead of being down in that quadrant being somewhere between 270 and 360, we say it's between negative 90 and 0. But in order to have a continuous 180 degrees, we back up to negative 90. So, out of all those numbers, negative 90 to positive 90, where is my height equal to negative 1? Negative 90, good. Negative 90, or negative pi over 2 if we're talking about radians. Okay, so good question. Would it be wrong if you put 270? And the answer is technically yes, although you're on the right track. the answer to this is always negative 90 to 90, or equal to, I should say. You have to give that version of the answer because that's the, I know you didn't agree to it, but the agreed upon one version of the answer that we're going to take, because there's really infinitely many of them, is the one that's somewhere between negative 90 and 90. So if you said 270, you're at the right spot, but you need to subtract 360 from your answer to go with negative 90. Great question. All right, try that one. Sine inverse of cosecant of negative pi over 2. Okay, so two-step. What is the cosecant of negative pi over 2? So whenever I get asked for cosecant of something, I always think, okay, what's the sign there? And actually, we were just talking about this location. Negative pi over 2 is down at the bottom. And if your question's in radians, you should answer in radians. I've been answering in both. Nothing wrong with knowing them both, but answer in the same format the question came in. So negative pi over 2, my sine, my height, is negative 1. And if sine is negative 1, the reciprocal of negative 1 is still negative 1. So cosecant of negative pi over 2 is negative 1. Not saying that's an easy process, but I'm saying that's an old process. That's review from before. Because we're supposed to know sine and cosine all around. We're supposed to understand that negative goes the other way. So find the spot, find the sign, and then flip that over. So that's technically an old concept. Now the question is, where does sine have a value of negative 1? And we actually that was actually just part of our decision there, right? So this one was, where does cosecant, what's cosecant at negative pi over 2? And we thought, oh, well, it's negative 1 because sine's negative 1. Now we're backtracking and saying, well, where does sine have that value? And it actually kind of, that doesn't exactly cancel out. You get the same answer, and it's just a coincidence because sine and cosecant have the same value. So it's just a two-step process. The old process first, and then the new process next. All right, let's flip that composition. Secant of sine inverse of 4/5. So on this style of question, we're working our way from the inside out. This expression on the inside, sine inverse of 4/5, is an angle. Inverse trig functions are angles. Last week I gave you the angle. You gave me the value of sine, cosine, whatever. Inverse trig function is the angle. That's what we're looking for. So this right here is the angle whose sine is 4/5. And this is just one of those right triangle drawing, sketching things where we end up using SOHCAHTOA. Okay, so what is the angle whose sine is 4/5? Well, sine's positive. I know sine is always negative 90 to positive 90. So I don't even really want to know how many degrees that angle is. I just want to go, see, this should look familiar. If your sine is 4/5, then your opposite is 4. Your hypotenuse is 5. Your adjacent is 3 because it's a 3, 4, 5. So if I'm feeling nice, I'll give you a 3, 4, 5. If not, you'll have some square roots involved. Okay, so this question, we can label this, this angle, theta, is the angle whose sine is 4/5. Last week, the question would have been, hey, sine theta is 4/5. You tell me the other functions. This is just code, now that you know this inverse. sine to the -1. It's saying the exact same thing. So this question is even older than the previous question. So what is the secant of that angle? Uh-oh. 5/3? It would be the inverse, or it would be the reciprocal of cosine. Cosine's 3/5. 5/3. You got it. I almost talked you out of it. Good. Okay. Now this one's not going to be a nice Pythagorean triple 3, 4, 5 situation, so you're going to have to work with the square root. Okay, so remember, this expression means angle whose sine is 1/11. If it's nice, a positive value up in the first quadrant, it's easier. We don't have to worry about any of those negatives. But if it had been, if sine was negative, we would be in the fourth quadrant. If cosine's negative, we'd be in the second. And you have to worry about signs then, plus minus signs. But this one, we're in the first quadrant. To get this square root of 120, that's 11 squared minus 1 squared. So that's 121 minus 1, which is 120. Now we got the square root, which means you have to worry about things like rationalizing and simplifying. So 120 is 4 times 30. So 4 is the largest square root that can come out of 120, which makes it 2 times the square root of 30. So then back to my original question, what's the cosine of this angle? It's the adjacent 2 times the square root of 30 over the hypotenuse 11. So we at least didn't have to rationalize it because the square root turned out on top, but we did have to simplify. If you have square root of 120 over 11, make sure you watch for simplifying square roots. Okay, we're going to run through a couple quick examples. I'm going to do one that looks like this because I want to remind you that it could be written in a couple ways. So this is saying the exact same thing as cosine inverse, square root of 3 over 2. Or where does x have a value of square root of 3 over 2? And that's at pi over 6 or 30 degrees. Good. Try these without your unit circle and then confirm it with your unit circle. All right, give that one a shot for a minute. Good. This one is 8/5. Now we can draw it, but think about what it's asking. It's telling you the angle whose tangent is 5/8. Here's that angle, the angle whose tangent is 5/8. Now what's the cotangent of that same angle? So really, they're just asking us to flip it over, right? We didn't even need to figure out the hypotenuse for this particular one. All right, I'm going to give you one more, and you can't use a calculator. It may seem crazy at first, but just think about it.
There's no calculator on our test, right?
Not on any of these questions we've done so far. Maybe on some of it, that things we haven't learned yet. Think about it. No calculator. Fantastic. Think about this, you guys. 22.763. This is like me asking you, what is 22.763 times 5 divided by 5. We don't have to get our calculator and type times 5 divided by 5 to realize those two operations cancel each other out because they're inverse operations, just like sine and arcsine. Inverse operations. You can type it in your calculator if you want, but it's just going to, whatever the first thing does, the second thing's going to undo. So watch for those, especially if you're on a no calculator section of a test and you get that question. Clearly we can't actually evaluate those without a calculator. So it has to be some sort of trick. And that would be just those two cancel each other out.